And we're going to do the X-Files from 2018. And the episode aired about a year into Trump's presidency. And it was all about an artificial intelligence takeover, as well as you're going to see Elon Musk in the episode. And Trump's birthday appears in the episode, as well as his signature phrase, BIGLY, which he liked to say. So we're going to cover all that today. And what else? Night drones appear in the episode as well. And of course, the letter Q. Now, here is what's going on today. Here are the headlines today, so that you understand that we're not barking up the wrong tree. Wednesday, June 4th, 2025, Amazon prepares to test humanoid robots for deliveries. Let me say that again. Amazon prepares to test humanoid robots for deliveries. You can't make this up, you guys.
Investment, by the way, that Amazon's made in the. Let's move now to our trending tickers of the day. We're watching Amazon and Guidewire both on the up and up. Apple on the flip side seeing some losses. Let's start with Amazon. The company seeing some small gains today following an expansion announcement. Amazon said it's going to be investing $10 billion into North Carolina for its cloud and artificial intelligence infrastructure. And the shares are up about.
I'm not going to play any more of that video, but you understand what is happening. We are entering the iRobot era, where literal robots are going to be delivering Amazon products. Now, I just decoded a film yesterday. It'll be tomorrow's show, and it's the film Total Recall. It was the reboot in 2012 when Trump was 66 years old, and the film is cast with 66 all over it. Here we are, you guys. It's all happening now. Now, also remember that Trump signed into law during his first presidency in 2017 this night drone directive. He basically loosened up all of the, I guess you could call it, regulation on drones, allowing them to fly at night, allowing them to drop off deliveries, which means that they would have to fly out of the range of their operator. And now, here we are, and all this is happening now. Everything's going to AI and robotics. It's as if he already knew back in 2017. Now, we know how they know, but it's very hard to convince people about this plan from the beginning to the end and how these people orchestrate these events. Night drones. Nighttime drone flights, 2017. Now, you're going to see that depicted in this episode of the X-Files. And then after this, we're going to get into some of the other headlines showing you that all of this is coming to pass, that it's all happening. Let's take a look.
Via the social media platform Twitter, an artificial intelligence chatterbot was released by a major American software corporation in 2016 on the 23rd of March. It was introduced as an experiment to better understand how humans converse and relate on social media.
So the episode opens with Mulder and Scully in an artificially intelligent sushi restaurant, and they're trying to order food, but there's no workers in there. It's all on a screen, and then robotics is how the food is prepared in the back. And as you just heard, the artificial intelligence, they say in the episode, this is the intro of the episode, was released on 3/23/2016. Now, of course, the inference here is 3/22, right? Skull and Bones. 2016 was Trump's first year of his presidency. The first presidency. Let's keep listening here.
The talkbot was designed to mimic the online language patterns of an innocent 19-year-old girl, and the AI would learn from humans. The quality of her interactions were meant to be friendly and informal.
19-year-old girl, that could have been a precursor to, of course, COVID-19. Because this is like a virus, isn't it?
The experiment performed as designed. The robot did indeed learn, but not as intended. It was constructed to become progressively more intelligent. Her posts became offensive, racist, hateful. After more than 50,000 followers and almost 100,000 tweets, the software corporation was forced to shut the bot down. Humans must take care in teaching AI, or one day, we will be the ones deleted.
And that's actually happening right now. We are the ones being deleted, our jobs taken over. And I can't even believe it, you guys. Nobody is awake to this. How are people supposed to make a living? How are people supposed to make money and pay bills when the robots are taking all the jobs over? It's literally a takeover in plain sight, and nobody is worried about it. In the mainstream anyways. Everyone's still caught up in, oh, the border and this and Trump and that. So here's the back end of the restaurant, the back of the sushi restaurant, where the robots are doing all the work. There's Mulder and Scully in the restaurant. There's nobody in there. Now, at this point, Scully pulls out her phone, and this is one of the first scenes in the episode, and it's Elon Musk, a story about AI taking over the world.
Yum.
Elon Musk, artificial intelligence, vastly more of a threat than North Korea. These are the very people making the artificial intelligence, aren't they? So they're pretty much gaslighting us, telling us what they're going to do before they do it. So at this point, they get Mulder's order wrong, and they're all upset, and Mulder decides not to leave a tip. And this marks the beginning of the rest of the episode, where the AI is angry at them for not leaving a tip. And throughout the rest of the episode, the AI electronically harasses them. They have to leave the restaurant. They call an Uber, which shows up as a driverless vehicle, just like in the Simpsons episode we decoded yesterday. Let's keep watching. They look inside. There's nobody there.
Hello! This is a driverless whips for Dana Scully.
Be quiet.
Then the car, because it's all about efficiency and robots and artificial intelligence running in everything. And so they're not going to let them get a 2-for-1, are they? So the vehicle literally closes the door behind Scully so that Mulder is forced to find another ride before he can get in. But as Scully's riding in the back of this car, the AI starts harassing her because she's visibly frustrated because it won't stop talking.
All right, taking you home.
Slow down.
Mulder then goes to his car and he finds a parking ticket. A parking ticket dated one day before Donald Trump's birthday, 2018. Wow.
Slow down.
Now, at this point, Dana makes it home, but she's met with more electronic harassment. Let me check in with you guys. Make sure we're okay. All right. Looks good. Okay, let's keep going.
Front door open.
Dana then goes in to basically type in the code, and her code is 223. 0223, which of course is Skull and Bones, and more confirmation of the opening of this episode where the artificial intelligence was released on 323, but it's really 322. Now, understand that 3 times 22 is 66. So that has significance as well, connecting this to Trump. Now, she calls the alarm company, and the code is a Q word. Those were more clues. Now, Q was already established in 2018. Apparently, they helped Trump get elected for his first presidency.
Won't work. Quique. E-E-G. Thank you.
She then gets notified that she's been charged $250 for a false alarm fee. So this is part of the electronic harassment. This is what our world's going to feel like when this fully comes online. We're already starting to feel bits and pieces of it, but there will be a huge renaissance of AI. Everybody you talk to on the phone is going to be a chatbot instead of a person. Why do you think they flooded all of our customer service agencies with foreign people? Why do you think they let that happen? You go to call someone for customer service and you can barely understand them. Why do you think that happened? You have to use your brain. It's problem, reaction, solution. So many people will be much happier to at least have a voice they can understand now, even though it's a chatbot. So they create the problem, they allow the problem. That way they can fix the problem and nobody will know the better. Let's keep going.
Wait time is 17 minutes.
Then we get another Q confirmation. Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. It's not an accident why they keep bringing up this number 17. You're going to hear it again tomorrow in the film Total Recall that we're going to do. The number 17 is how many minutes it takes for the shuttle to go from one side of the earth to the other. Now, this isn't about Q, the group, so much. That's actually, they gave that group the name to gaslight them. What Q really is, the deepest and darkest roots of Q is from the feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl. That's what it's really about. Let's keep watching.
Press 1 now if you would. You have reached BIGLY credit. We are experiencing an unusually high call volume.
You heard that correctly. as Mulder arrives home and he tries to contact the credit card company to report his card stolen because the sushi restaurant ate the card after he would not leave a tip. The name of the credit card company is called BIGLY Credit. So obviously that's a phrase attached to Donald Trump. I know a lot of other people say it, but during the campaign and during the debates, he was made fun of. Even though it was proper English, nobody uses that word. So,
Your approach like to call back.
BIGLY Credit. At this point, the AI continues to send messages to Mulder's phone asking him if he wants to leave a tip for the restaurant. He's like, that's weird. What restaurant keeps harassing you to leave the tip? And he keeps giving him chances to leave a tip. And Mulder keeps ignoring the messages. But at this point, they send drones. Not only do they send drones, but it's a peculiar kind of drone. A night drone. And everybody knows this does not fit within the context of regular life. In 2018, yes, there were drones flying around, but did anyone ever see night drones flying around in 2017, 2018? No, that wasn't really a thing back then, was it? But it is now, and it was at the end of Biden's presidency and going into Trump's presidency the second time around. Let's watch. More electronic harassment.
This is an automated call for
Fox Mulder.
Drone deliveries. This has Trump's signature on it. He was the one that loosened the regulations for drone deliveries in 2017. The drones seem to have self-preservation programming as this drone picks up a damaged drone that Mulder hit with a bat. At this point, they introduced the drone swarms. Now, there were drone swarms that we reported on back around this time frame, but now we know the rest is history. Drone swarms are now the new battlefront, as drone swarms just annihilated, or so they tell us, right? I believe all this is fake. All this whole war thing, it's all fake to pre-program us. I don't believe a drone swarm really annihilated an entire Russian base. I think that's all just to program us to accept all this stuff. They then go to run for help, but the drones continue to stalk them. At this point, they're cornered in a warehouse. And they're stalked by robot dogs, which of course, just weeks after Trump's inauguration, the second time around, there were robot dogs patrolling in front of Mar-a-Lago. So at this point, the AI is basically possessing a robot, and they give Mulder his phone, and they give him one last chance to tip at the sushi restaurant. And Mulder finally agrees. Wow, that was 2018, 7 years ago, you guys. Now, I'm going to check in with you and we're going to get into some of these other headlines today. This fungus programming, as we've all heard by now, the fungal apocalypse, predictive programming. They're saying these 2 Chinese spies or whatever snuck into, or were trying to sneak a biological weapon into the United States to infect our agriculture. They're calling it agro-terrorism. Now, let's pull it up, you guys. Now, understand that this was the exact plot of the film Interstellar that we just talked about last week. Those of you that follow the channel, you remember we talked about this exact thing. They called it the blight in the movie Interstellar. And it was a fungus that killed the world's food supply, killed the corn, killed the everything. And in the movie, they blamed it on global warming. Well, here we are. Let's play this.
Describes it as now been filed against a Chinese scientist and a girlfriend who worked in a lab at the University of Michigan. Yangqing Jian and Zunyang Liao are facing charges of conspiracy, smuggling.
Wait. 33 years old, Yangqing Jian and Zunyang Liao. You know, sometimes they code the names of these people like Bing Dang Ao. That was a real name that they tried to say was in that Chinese plane that crashed. We Too Low. Remember this? Wow. It almost looks like the same graphics from that report about that Chinese plane.
Making false statements and visa fraud. In July of last year, Leo was turned away at the Detroit airport and sent back to China after changing his story during an interrogation about red plant material discovered in his backpack. That material was later learned to be a pathogen which can attack wheat, barley, rice, and sicken livestock and people. Authorities said a scientific journal describes it as a potential agro-terrorism weapon. The FBI said the two worked on the pathogen at a lab at U of M. Messages between them in 2024 suggest that Jian was already tending to the fungus at the campus lab before Leo was caught at the Detroit airport. The U.S. does not have an extradition treaty with China, which...
Notice how the only countries where Trump is starting to ban travel, we're going to get into that a little bit later. The only countries that they're not banning travel is like China. Chinese people get to come and go as they want to in this country, even though we're told that China is this, we got to watch out for China and Russia, right? But the border's wide open for Chinese people. That should tell you everything you need to know. Now, this is The Last of Us. And we all know about this TV series. We've decoded several episodes of it. It's about a fungal apocalypse. This came out in 2023. But before fungus was popular, in January, early 2022, we started releasing a series of live shows, as you can see here on your screen, about the coming fungal apocalypse. Let me say that again. A year before even The Last of Us TV series came out, we released a series of live shows about a coming fungal apocalypse. This was the first video, Archive 81, and it was about a mold that overtook a building based on the possession of the building. There was also a portal that opened in Archive 81, the TV series. And because this portal of evil had opened, this is what caused the building to be infected with black mold. Then we saw fungal medical possession. This particular decode was about a movie called The Privilege. Again, this was early 2022. These are the thumbs up ratings on these videos, just so you know that this channel is not irrelevant, that it's not something that a lot of people thumbs down. What this metric means here is that 99% of the people thumbs up the video. So out of these 1,028 likes, only about 10 people thumbs down the video. And the same goes for all of these. So we did Archive 81. We did fungal medical possession. That was in the movie The Privilege. The Privilege was all about a secret society. And they used this fungus, and I believe the name was called Copperheim. Remember this decode that we did? And it was a secret society, and they would use this fungus to possess each other with new bodies. And there's one scene where they're in a classroom, and the teacher is explaining that they showed like an ant with a fungus growing out of its head. Then we did this decode called The Faculty, and everybody remembers this movie. This is an older movie. There was fungus in this movie as well. The same theme, possession through fungus. And then we said it was official once the mainstream finally caught up to the decodes, that they said that we were having a fungus epidemic. That was in 2023. And there was the whole CDC warning and all of that that came out toward the end of the pandemic. I just want to show you guys the track record so you can see that we don't just grandstand or make things up for clicks and views. Now let's keep going. Back to this AI takeover, because now Trump is requiring federal employees to prove their loyalty by writing an essay to the federal government. You guys, this is the precursor to the social credit score. They want your allegiance. You're going to have to somehow worship the beast, is what they're going to say. Essentially, this is where this is all headed. Worship the image of the beast. You have to give your consent in order to buy and sell. And how well you comply will determine your success in America, your success in moving forward in life. Otherwise, all these things are going to start happening to you. You're literally having to prove your humanity against a machine. Now, you're going to see this whole, proving your loyalty thing in tomorrow's decode when we decode this other movie, Total Recall, because they make him sign an agreement saying that he's not a terrorist and that he's loyal to the company. They make him sign a contract. It's the same thing. Let's read this. Trump administration makes new federal employees write essays to prove MAGA loyalty. As the government hiring freeze nears its end, the U.S. Office of Personnel Management has released new guidelines for hopeful federal employees. Answer 4 200-word essay questions to be considered for a job in the Trump administration. Questions include an inquiry into which of Trump's executive orders have been significant to their lives. Trump implemented a government hiring freeze upon his inauguration, January 20th. Wow. What else is going on? Well, meanwhile, guess who's footing the bill for all these data centers? Now, right when Trump announced Stargate AI, the largest data center to ever be built, we researched these data centers and we found out that many of them were built close to like water sources. They require lots and lots of water. They're made near lakes, rivers, streams, and dams. And we also found out that the statistic was that data centers consume 10% of electricity use in America. So what does that mean? Well, when there's demand for electricity, what does that do to your costs? that means your costs go up. So essentially what we're doing is we are literally footing the bill for artificial intelligence. And they're double dipping. We're paying on both ends. We're paying higher electricity costs, and we're paying again for the tax dollars required to build the data centers, which will be the brains of the artificial intelligence. We're actually triple paying because AI is also putting us out of jobs. It's a literal takeover. And they're going to blame us. They're going to blame global warming. How to lower your energy costs as summer temperatures rise. So they're essentially telling us that this summer we will be paying the highest electric bills. And they're saying it's all because of global warming. Has nothing to do with data centers chewing up 10% of electricity use. So get ready. You're going to want to budget for this because your electric bill this summer is going to go up in a lot of places that it didn't go up in before. Now, Casey, what's the big deal? He's cracking down on these illegals. The border, it's all good. AI is going to help us all. Palantir's a good company. They're taking it to the illegals. Well, one of you sent me this. Palantir's first contracts were with the CIA. So now we have the CIA running domestic operations on U.S. soil under Trump with this new Gotham AI that is going to collect all your personal information, put it into a big database, and then decide if your person is likely to commit a crime. This is their definition of Project Gotham, not mine. Let's read this. Notice how the Democrats have nothing to say about all this, do they? They're focused on all this other stuff and just letting this happen. How a deviant philosopher built Palantir, a CIA-funded data mining juggernaut. Here he is. This is the guy. This is the face of our future imprisonment. Since rumors began, now this was dated back in 2013, you guys, 2013. Since rumors began to spread that a startup called Palantir, this was the beginnings of Palantir, to kill Osama bin Laden, Alex Karp hasn't had much time to himself. On one sun-baked July morning in Silicon Valley, Palantir's lean 45-year-old chief executive with a top-heavy mop of frazzled hair hikes the grassy hills around Stanford. Massive satellite antenna known as the dish for favorite meditative pastime. But his solitude is disturbed somewhat by Mike, an ex-Marine, silent 6'1", 270 pounds of mostly pectoral muscle, who trails him everywhere he goes. It's his bodyguard. It puts a massive cramp on your life, Karp explains, his expression hidden behind large black sunglasses. There's nothing worse for reducing your ability to flirt with someone. Karp's 24/7 security detail is meant to protect him from extremists who have sent him death threats and conspiracy theorists who have called Palantir to rant about the Illuminati. And here we are, all these years later, and they are literally filling the very role that they were accused of doing. Invading our privacy. Let's keep reading. Schizophrenics have stalked Karp outside his office for days at a stretch. It's easy to be the focal point of fantasies, he said, if your company is involved in realities like ours. Palantir lives the realities of its customers, the NSA, the FBI, and the CIA. So there you go. I'm not going to read the rest of this. Look at this. NQ-tel. There's Q again. So this is typical gaslighting. They call us crazy while they continue to march us all towards a predetermined outcome. Let me check in with you guys, and then we'll continue on and finish up the show today. Can you even believe this? CIA companies operating on domestic soil. You know, I watch a lot of movies, of course, and this is always the red line, right? They pretend like they're so careful. Oh, the CIA has to be, that has to be foreign. You can't operate CIA on US soil. But yet it's happening all the time. Every truth channel in the truth community, this should be our number one topic from here until there's nothing we can do about it. Obviously, you've seen the electronic harassment that we just suffered over the last 2 days with some mystery bug causing my mic to not even work. So this is how they shut people up. This is why I show you these things in real time. I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm having mic issues. I'm going to show it to you so that you see what's happening in real time. This is the only way that there's accountability, because we can't hide from these people. We have to continue to boldly speak the truth. It's not about any kind of violence. It's about ideas. Now, let's keep going. There's a couple more stories today. So, this is Trump throwing his base some bones. Keep America white again. Okay, this is his base. This is what is his base is allowing all this to happen because they don't want to give the Democrats any power. Okay, and so this is what he does. This is gaslighting again. Trump's playing on his base's fears by giving them the false illusion that he's not going to let any more trouble into this country. So what does he do? He bans a bunch of African countries from traveling to the U.S., countries that don't even harbor terrorists. Essentially saying, if you're black, you don't get to come here. If you're white from South Africa, you do get to come here. Again, this is for his base, to incite them, to make them feel like something real is being done. This is why they never solved the black crime problem in America. This is why there is a statistic out there that most black crime is black on black crime, but it's significantly higher in black communities than it is in white communities. And that's just the statistic. But understand that they want this to happen. This is why you wonder where these gangsters are getting these guns and where they're getting the drugs. They're being given it to them so that they could create the problem. Now, of course, there's personal responsibility in all this, absolutely 100%. But when you create an economic environment and then you fill areas with a bunch of drugs and guns, what do you think you're going to get? You're going to have a problem, aren't you? And everybody's culpable. Even Obama was culpable. Because what did we say? We said, one of my biggest criticisms of Obama was here was a black president who had an opportunity to actually fix something. How do you fix something? How do you get young black men to work? You literally show them exactly the steps they need to take to get whatever trade that they need. You could even use some kind of advertising campaign. You can use a social worker to show up to their door and say, hey, we got a class. This is a class you can take. Here's a certification. This is what you're going to make. We can even do a borrow and pay back later. So you can borrow the money for the trade that you're going to learn and pay it back once you start working. Here are the cities where you can find these jobs if you want to move, or there's a plant ready to hire you when you are done with your trade training. That was the single biggest thing that Obama could have done for the black community. And of course, nothing of the sort ever happened. Instead, he continued to stir the racial divide because that fits right into the right-left paradigm. And I hope this is all making sense for you guys. Now, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have had those programs for white people. All people should have these kinds of programs of any color. There should be a clear pathway to a job that is promised to you if you complete the program. How hard would it be to do that in America? We're supposed to be the greatest country in the world. Help people get jobs. Show them where the opportunities are so they're not spinning their wheels, so they're not getting empty degrees and empty trainings that aren't going to get them a job. Why don't they use AI for that? To show people where the jobs are? Well, I don't think they should use AI for anything because they would just use that against us, right? But you get my point. And we can never stop speaking the truth about these things, ever. Because the minute we stop speaking the truth, we lay down and die, right? Because these people will take everything that they can. So yeah, this is the headline. Trump basically banned a bunch of black countries from coming into the U.S. It's a travel ban. Goes into effect Monday. Now, let's finish up with this. ICE arrests record number of immigrants in a single day. Oh, this is great, Casey. This is what we hired him to do. Well, let's keep reading. Because remember when this was all about just getting the criminals? Remember this was about just getting the criminals? Well, they've gone beyond that. This is about everybody who can't show documentation. Well, that's great, Casey. This is what we hired him to do. Let's keep reading. Hundreds of people who were arrested had been enrolled in ICE's alternative to detention program. 3 sources familiar with the arrest said under the program, ICE releases undocumented immigrants who are deemed not to be threats to public safety and then tracks them through ankle monitors, smartphone apps, or other geolocating programs, along with periodic check-ins at ICE facilities. They're practicing, aren't they? They're practicing on the illegals because this will be our future as American citizens. So, ankle monitors, geolocating devices. That sounds like a chip, doesn't it? How else are you going to geolocate somebody? Wow. Now, tomorrow, Total Recall with Colin Farrell. Who else is in this? Kate Beckinsale, Jessica Biel. I just finished decoding this morning. Actually, I was working on it this morning. And you're not going to believe this. Should I play the trailer for you guys? Do you guys want to see the trailer on Total Recall? And then we'll do a full decode on it tomorrow. I also found a secret birthday code associated with Donald Trump's birthday. And you're not even going to believe what I found with that. I basically subtracted both 88 and 66 days from Donald Trump's birthday in the calendar. And it landed, well, I won't give it away. You'll see tomorrow the secret birthday code. Donald Trump has a secret birthday code. There's something really weird about his birthday. And when you try to apply the same code to other days in the calendar, it doesn't work. It only works with his birthday. So do you guys want to play this trailer for tomorrow's show? Good morning. Yes, okay. You guys are ready for this. All right, let's do this. This was the edited trailer that I put together. It's about 5 minutes long, and then we'll end the show.
Travel time to the United Federation of Britain, 17 minutes. Dropping in 60 seconds. Welcome to the fall. 7:21 a.m.
There's no sound on this part. I'm just going through the cast. I'm looking at where the movie originated from a 1966 short story by Philip K. Dick. 66 confirmed. Bryan Cranston, who plays basically the leader, the evil leader, was born on the 66th day of the year, so he was cast in this role for a purpose. He plays the Trump archetype in the film. Trump was 66 years old when this film came out. 66 confirmed. John Cho, born a couple days after Trump's birthday, June 16th. Trump was, let's see, here's a third character born on 3/22. 3 times 22 is 66. This thing has 66 all over it.
Chancellor has announced that he will be stopping all humanitarian aid to the colony in light of this morning's bombing. Despite recent talks between Chancellor Cohagen and the colony's governor,
the protection of our citizens will always come first. Today's terrorist attacks means that funding will have to go to bolster.
I missed one. Ethan Hawke's birthday is 11/6. 11 times 6 is 66. He's in this film as well.
Our synthetic federal police force.
Hold it here. You hold it there and it cinch shorts. One of those bolts will shoot straight through your hand. No shit, huh?
There is a heightened concern regarding the, shall we say, loyalty of our workers. Given these politically charged times there. Mr. Quaid, in your capacity here, you are privy to police synth technology that is currently classified.
I know how to turn them on, if that's what you mean. And what is that?
It affirms that you will not divulge proprietary technology to any source, either foreign or domestic. We'd like you to sign this. The document merely affirms you are who you say you are, and that you are not actively engaged in any attempt to overthrow this administration.
You want me to sign something that says I'm not a terrorist?
You're living the dream, my friend.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I'm living the dream?
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd get rid of that phone. All right? Now.
How can I get rid of the phone? It's in my goddamn hand. Hey, wait.
What is that? Where can I get one?
Yeah, I have a safety deposit box here. It's...
This is not your face. I've been captured and resculpted into this person you think you are now.
Yes, thank you.
That's him!
Why would he attack his own people? I don't understand.
How else could he justify tripling production of federal police synthetics? A commanding officer in the war, so I know exactly what he is capable of. Think about it, right? What is the one resource the colony has that United Britain doesn't? He is building a private army capable of invading the colony.
It's all happening right now, you guys. And still 99% of the world is asleep. They're literally telling us the truth in fiction before it happens. And it's so mathematically accurate with how they cast all these people that you could literally apply an equation to it almost. Something that would almost be admissible in the court of law. Foreshadowing events that they are already planning long in advance. So we'll break that down tomorrow. That was the movie Total Recall, the reboot, when Trump was 66 years old in 2012. I know I keep saying that, but in order for you to understand all the 66 in the cast, linking it to Trump and what he's doing now, you have to be reminded of that. So I'm in the chat. Good morning, everybody. Obviously, we were meant to do this, weren't we? All right. I don't think Q felt bad for anything. I think it was a group that was created from the top down to put people to sleep while Donald Trump got to run his program for what he already came to do. A disease and a cure. Apollo. Don't ever give these people an out. The whole thing was a setup from the beginning. We tried to warn people from the very beginning. When I heard about this Q group, I already knew it came from the top down, the same way Bitcoin and crypto came from the top down to usher in the digital currency. And if a channel is going to call themselves a truth channel and they're not warning you about crypto and weren't warning you about the truth about the right-left paradigm, then they're not a real truth channel. They're just part of the machine. They're controlled opposition. If they're not taking a tough stand on this stuff, this is why channels like this are ineffective, because there aren't enough people awake to the right-left paradigm of what's really happening. All these presidents have marched us to the same conclusion. It didn't matter if it was Obama. It didn't matter if it was Kamala Harris. It didn't matter if it was Trump. They're all in it together. And they're just playing. They're play acting. They're playing a role. Now, the people that follow Q obviously were deceived, but had they watched one of our videos on Q, maybe they would have woken up, or maybe they wouldn't have, because people want to believe in men, don't they? They want to believe that Trump was here to do something good. And that was their first fatal error. All right, you guys. So that's the truth. And the truth should set you free, because you're not involved in false hope, right? All right. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, you guys. I will see you tomorrow. I'll put links to all these stories and everything for you. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Much love. Take care. Be safe.